I love the idea that General Mills is run by just a bunch of misogynistic
Yeah, just like
perverts.
It's gotta be,
dudes.
right?
We'll call her tits.
Yeah, let's come up with a cereal called Bosoms.
Yeah, you pour the milk on them.
Yeah, because that's what comes out
That's
of them.
what, yeah.
But now you put...
And we have a bottle that's
And you
shaped like a
eat it.
dick, so
Yeah.
you'd like
And you
your
lick 'em.
cream.
You
Yeah.
lick them before...
You lick them before you chew.
It's got chocolate nipples.
You lick them before you chew.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Those are
He
the morals
shows
I
him-
live by.
And that's the voiceover as the kid's eating.
Yeah.
And he's
You
just like,
lick them before you chew.
he's like looking around like, what the fuck?
What do I do?
Who's doing that voiceover? Fucking
Yeah.
Macho Man?
Yeah.
That was
We're-
interesting.
We're trying to lock down a couple
Lick
of like,
'em
big
before
names.
you chew.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're trying to lock down
Macho
some big names
Bandits.
right now.
We have to.
Idris
Yeah.
Elba's and Talks.
Probably
Right
pull
now.
this over a little bit. Just, yeah, I want you to be
that
dead
good?
on. Yeah, you can
Yeah.
push it back a little, like,
How's that?
like that way.
That way.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
then
Yeah, that works. Or no.
Cool.
You know what? I just want you to be comfy.
I'm super comfy, dude.
he's got it. He's got a pillow
It's
on his
great.
lap.
That's great. I love it. Yeah, the
It's
pillow on my lap is
fantastic.
super important. Like I
Is
love
it?
the pillow on my
Okay,
lap.
good.
Yeah.
It was a
Is
last
that a
minute
security
addition.
thing?
No, I mean I just. Why you think I'm hard right now?
No, not.
Let's
I
talk
am.
about titty cereals.
I am.
Obviously, you should be.
Brian, I got to ask you something.
Yeah, what's up?
Did you? I know you've dabbled in stand up a little bit.
Yeah.
But like, you don't get enough credit, and I want to know how funny you were prior to being friends with comedians the way you were and
Right.
being in this business.
Yeah.
Because as long as I've known you, I thought you were a comic the first time I met you because you're quick as fuck, you sharp, you're smart, like all the things that you would want in a great comedian. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
And you were just privy to stand up, so I was
Yeah.
like, oh, this guy's a student of the game and he's in it.
Yeah.
And but so what came first, like an interest in all that, or being
Yeah, I
friends
mean,
with
like
people?
I grew up just like the one guy in my group of friends who just like refused to play sports, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and like I always. It's not that I didn't like sports. It was just like I'd much rather watch a movie or study something that was on TV or
Right.
go to, just study music, whatever it really was. So at a really young age, I started doing like performing, and I did like some off-Broadway productions, and I did, chorus and all the musicals and stuff in school. And then when I moved out to LA and started spending time in college and being around the comedy scene a little bit more aggressively, going to UCB shows and things like that, I mean, I just absolutely fell in love with it. And I think I always had like a propensity to comedy. And obviously, like as you get older, like shit gets harder. So I feel like you're drawn to comedy more because it's kind of like a release.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Very-
absolutely.
it really, I mean, it helps you through very trying times. So I would always lean on more of the comedy self-deprecating side of things as opposed to like just keeping everything positive all the time. I like and identify with the sort of comedian staple, if you will, like the archetype of a comedian is like it's a type of person that I sort of connect with on a lot of levels.
Well, was there anybody in particular that you really saw?
I mean,
that-
yeah, I mean, like Robin Williams, like growing up was like
Sure.
huge for me, and I met him actually like 2 months before he passed away.
Well,
No
where?
kidding. Wow.
Do you remember when he did this like he did this Broadway production of a show called Bengal Tiger and the Baghdad Zoo?
I did hear about that.
Sounds like a Shel Silverstein book, but
Yeah.
interesting.
Could have been, but he
Was
had
he
this
good?
huge beard. Oh, I'm looking at that photo. It was the same beard that he had in that photo that's sitting right over there of you and him. That's the big beard that he had. And I remember I was interning for this company in New York when I was still in college, and I remember going home and I was like, something is not right with that guy. Like something is off. And then like a month later. But yeah, he was always huge for me. Steve Martin was huge for me. Obviously, like all the cheesy Adam Sandler comedies from the 90s were massive, but I always was watching SNL. I was always going to theater. I was always just studying the craft of acting and filmmaking all together.
And did you have that as a goal then, where you're like, I'm going to do this?
Yeah, I mean, I think I always knew at a very young age, even like from age 8 up, that I was going to work in this industry. Like people ask me all the time, would you go back and change anything? And I wouldn't. Like I can't imagine doing anything else. I don't want to work in finance. Like I don't even know how to do math.
Once you say, yeah, it is one of the benefits of doing this profession. I think we can all attest. It's like there's certain business things you have to learn, but there's certain things that like I knew I was going to do this. So in high school, I only concerned myself with math and the fucking quadratic formula because I was like, I need to get a good grade in this class to be able to get into college. But like
I just
after
got
that,
stressed when you
I
said
am
quadratic
out.
formula.
What's that?
I just got stressed when you said quadratic formula.
But are you still hard?
Absolutely. I got Brad right next to me.
I mean, sure.
I feel like we're getting really close today, buddy.
yeah.
Did you ever have to learn a song to remember that thing?
No.
I don't
No.
think so.
But if you're trying to alley-oop to yourself to
you
sing
sing it?
the quadratic
I
formula,
would
Dude,
love it.
God, I haven't done this since high school. X equals negative b plus or minus square root b squared over 4ac all over 2a.
Yeah. And
Whoa.
you're definitely not hard now.
Over 2A.
That's
Over
right.
2A.
That's all I remember.
I get tits. I get pussy
I
all the
like it.
time. No,
Wait,
I
did
don't.
that help?
Yeah, because that's how you. That's
Would you
remembered
be
shit.
like the guy in the back of the class singing it during tests?
Oh my god, yes.
I love it.
I would totally do that. And
Brad,
then-
stop singing
Yeah.
the fucking song and finish your work.
Yeah, the
Or was that-
teacher would get mad because she's like, "You're giving away the
Yeah, I
answers,"
was
and I'm
gonna
like,
say.
"Well, you taught us the fucking song,
Yeah.
so we could remember
I
it."
would make crib sheets in all of my classes. Like
Crib
I was
sheets?
like the master cheater in high school.
Oh, so like those like mini fonts.
Like, yeah, I had the
Yeah.
smallest handwriting you've ever seen.
Wow.
And you could read it.
Oh, yeah.
That's brilliant.
And people would pay me to make them cheat sheets.
no shit,
I wish I knew you.
entrepreneur.
Seriously.
Because I had to
Yeah.
make my own, and I got caught.
Oh,
and
dude, I was
almost.
so good.
You-
I
were
was
you?
so good. And
Did you learn from
John-
somebody else, or did you just kind of?
No, dude. I just like it was easier. I always looked for the easy way out.
Now
of everything.
Yeah.
Now,
can't do
how'd
that
you
anymore,
learn?
but how did I learn?
Or like how'd you not get caught?
I mean, I think it's just like you're in the moment. And
Yeah.
it's like it's either do
Fight or
die.
flight.
Yeah, exactly.
Wait, John and you went to high school.
We went to elementary school and high school together, and
John
John always
Rudnitzky.
used to give me so much shit. He'd be like, "Dude, you don't fucking like earn your grades yourself. You're a cheater." I'm like, "John, you do the same shit, dude."
I would say that the cheaters absolutely earn their grades. They
Yeah.
figure out the way to
Yeah.
cheat.
It's
like
hard to
It's harder to
yeah,
cheat. Yeah.
it's like saying
'Cause you always
drug
gotta, like,
dealers
look
don't
over
earn
your
their money.
shoulder.
They do.
Yeah.
You don't like the way they do it,
Yeah.
but they earn it.
I definitely like got accused a few times, and I was like, "What? Me cheating? No."
Oh,
And
so
they'd be
you-
like, "Yeah, all right, probably not."
Put that on your acting reel, right?
Yeah, right.
It was good, huh?
What? It's like,
Yeah.
what? You crazy?
Yeah, it's very Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah.
What? No.
Yeah. No. What? No. Oh my God.
By the way, that say hi to your mother for me. That's a good way to get out of any cheating
Yeah,
accusation. Just
absolutely.
going to Wahlberg.
What?
Yeah.
No.
No.
Hey, say hi to your mother.
Say hi to your mother for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How you
I'm
doing?
70 years old. My mom's been dead
She's been
for 20
dead, you
years.
asshole. Now I know you cheated.
Yeah. Well, still say hi to her for me.
But
Okay,
there
well,
were
wait,
even a few situations in college too. Like I remember I wrote a paper in remember those like Turnitin sites? Where maybe
Yes.
you guys were too old or like too young or like I'm
No,
probably-
I was on
you
him.
had that?
Yeah.
Turn it
You had
in
that?
sites.
Turn it in. So like you would write a paper
Mm-hmm.
and then you would submit it to this website and then it would check all websites to make sure that there was no plagiarism. In your,
Okay.
in
We had turn him in sites where it was like if you saw some shady guy on
Yeah.
campus.
It's like if you see
with a
something, say
mustache.
something.
Well,
Yeah.
this is the same thing, just with papers. So like they dumbed down the technology basically.
Yeah.
So you would
So I mean, like I was always in the clear in high school,
Mm-hmm.
and then in college, I remember very specifically, I wrote this paper about Jaws,
Mm-hmm.
and I had to like analyze how Jaws was representative of the political and societal fears of the time.
holy shit.
It was a
Okay.
really
That's interesting
bullshitted
actually.
paper.
It
Yeah.
was though.
It was good though, but it was all bullshit.
Okay, so here's the thing, like
Yeah.
because being a good bullshitter, like again, it's like was your writing good?
Yes.
So then the topic, I feel like again, it's like I used to have a bit about this with like a band. If the music's good, doesn't matter what the band is called.
No.
people are still gonna go see it.
Right.
It's like if U2 could have been Me 3, the Beatles could have been the Beaners. You know what I'm saying? And people would still be like, "Wow, that's kind of racist," but I'm still gonna go see their show. So
Right.
with you, it's like the topic might have been silly,
Right.
but if you backed it up with the content, then your teacher had no option
Right. Yeah,
than to
I
be
mean,
like,
it was the most beautiful golden covered shit you've ever seen. But
no teacher ever caught on.
No, but this is what happened in college when I wrote that Jaws paper.
Mm-hmm.
This teacher brought me into his office, like during office hours. So it was like very like, what's going on? Is there a problem? And he pulls out my paper and he's like, I found some plagiarized parts of your paper. And I was like, what did I plagiarize? And he pulls out the intro paragraph where I literally just wrote the log line of Jaws. Jaws, this is the story of a killer shark who haunts a beach town in New Jersey. He goes, you took that right from IMDb, didn't you? And I go, dude, how else do you describe the story
I'm
of
not
Jaws?
gonna try to do a new version of
Yeah.
a
Of
synopsis.
the best log line for one of the best movies. Like,
Yeah.
fuck off.
Yeah.
dude.
Fuck off.
You didn't
My
say
parents literally wanted to disown me. They were like, you can't believe you're back to your old ways.
you didn't
Oh,
say like
God.
the best of times it was the worst of times. Like you
No.
said like
Yeah.
the basic log line.
There's
of the
no other
film.
way to tell the story of Jaws.
It would have been great if you put that and then put like hyphen Brian Lieberman.
Hyphen IMDb. Brian.
Like, these are my words.
These are my words, but also
Perfect.
IMDb stole them from me.
Yeah. Stole them from my paper.
Do a follow-up paper. IMDb
Honestly,
stole
so
this from me.
now we need to reach out to the brand that you're afraid of pulling out from this. I need to reach out to Mark Zuckerberg.
Yes.
I also have to reach out to IMDb and clear this up.
What do you think Zuckerberg, quick tangent, is doing right now?
Hopefully cocaine.
Hopefully that, or
He's probably like tapping into all those photos that were taken on the Face
the
app.
Russian face
Yeah, what's
app.
going on with? Is that true?
I mean, I got to imagine it is.
Somebody posted that like that's somebody goes, guys know that was a Russian something. Trump's gonna win now.
Oh, well, that's dumb. But like, what's new about this app that's not unlike any other app that we have? People are freaking out that people are going to hack our information. Every app that we have
dude.
has all of our information.
Yeah.
Once you have a
done.
phone,
You're done.
You're done, dude.
You're done.
Yeah,
That's
stop
why
trying
the
to
people
keep it in.
that are like, are able to disconnect
Yeah.
and truly live without that. Yeah, you're probably in the clear.
You're probably okay.
also probably not contributing to society.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, because I was about to say, well, my dad has never owned a cell phone, but he's been retired since
Yeah.
for 20 years.
But
so-
that's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
But
Done.
he's got
out.
what does he need? His family,
Yeah.
the friends he knows.
Fox News. That's it.
Call
Fox News.
But even his
He
friends,
does.
does he call them on like a landline?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it.
Gotta love the landline.
Somebody
people.
gotta love the landline. I
Gotta.
love a good landline.
Gotta love a good landline.
to
Brought
quote-
to you by Landlines.
To quote
Yeah.
Salvo Cano, I love a good. Like he's the best at like. I love it. He'll post like a he posts like potpourri in a bathroom somewhere, and he's like, love a good potpourri. You know?
I love that.
Um,
Who doesn't though?
Who doesn't?
Who
Seriously.
doesn't love a good
And I don't want to
potpourri?
meet the
It's a
person that
legitimate
does.
question because
Yeah.
it's rhetorical.
Dude, there's so many things like that I just go. There are two types of people in this world.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And like farts, they are always funny.
Always
I go,
funny.
if you hear a fat kid fart in an elevator
Hilarious.
and he laughs and you don't high five him, you support ISIS. That's as clear as it
I
gets.
totally agree.
I
like
agree.
if you like breaking it down as simple as that, where it's just like this should be something we all enjoy.
yeah,
Right.
Yeah, could you
Saying thank you if someone opens a door for you.
Always.
There are
Done.
two different types of people: people that just walk in, and
Yeah.
people that acknowledge the gesture.
What about the people? What about the people who try to walk into an elevator as they're getting out and you're trying to get in?
Oh
Give
boy!
like Jesus fuck! I hate
give
those
benefit
people.
of the
Hold
doubt
a
that
few,
someone's probably coming in.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
It's a
yeah.
two-way street,
It's
baby.
a two-way street.
Yeah.
What year were you born?
Yeah, and even so, like when I exit an elevator, I try to do it like I'm driving. I try to stick to like the right side.
Right, yeah, you gotta
'Cause
go
this
to
is
the
a-
side.
because this is
Right.
America,
that's smart.
motherfucker.
That's smart. You gotta,
Now,
you gotta give
course,
access to both
yeah,
people.
of course, if I go to England or Australia, then I get fucked up.
Then you get
Yeah.
confused.
yeah. Then
I don't drive anymore though, so like I'm not as concerned. Like I haven't been able to drive since I got sick.
Yes, and
Yeah.
let's talk about.
Oh
that.
yeah. Great segue actually, without even
Great
thinking
segue.
about it. Yeah.
And then I want to talk more about your career
Great,
because
great,
it's
great.
and that ties into just how inspiring of a human being you are.
Totally.
I don't think Brad fully knows,
I've heard whispers.
but this is why. I mean, again, you were an inspiring, amazing dude prior to this. Which is why it's extra insane to me that you are now back in the swing of things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What
And
happened?
what happened? So take us through as much as you want to
much, yeah.
without feeling like it's too much.
Oh
or,
no, I'm so.
Show us on
open
the
about-
microphone where you hurt.
I always tell people like what happened to me was the greatest and worst single thing that's ever happened to me in my entire life, and I'm so grateful for it. In a very weird way, but yeah. So basically, what happened was, I guess it was about like 3 years ago or 4 years ago now. I got a heart doctor in LA because I had a cardiologist back in Jersey where I'm from. And I never really had any like major heart issues, but I knew that I was born with this like valve that was closed a little bit more than the others. And the only preventative measure I had to do before going to the doctor or anything was like pre-medication or something, right?
Right.
Just to make sure that if anything goes in, I'm not going to get infected or
Right.
something.
Okay.
So fast forward to like 3 years of me living in LA. I go to this cardiologist in UCLA who I've been seeing for a little while, and he recommends that I get this surgery, which is basically going to replace the valve with a mechanical valve to stop any potential leakage from happening any further.
Okay.
So they do this surgery. It's a huge success. They put me on blood thinners. I'm good for 2.5, 3 years. Fast forward to 2.5, 3 years later, I'm home in New Jersey. I come back to LA. I'm feeling incredibly sick. Like I have the flu. I went to urgent care. They were like, "You're good. Like, just here's some medication. It's definitely the flu."
There's aspirin. Yeah.
Yeah, here you go. Just get out of here. And then a day later, my roommate at the time found me in my room, and I was just completely passed out and sweating like crazy, and I was not speaking. I couldn't function. I couldn't see anything. I was very much, I think, in the process of becoming incredibly, incredibly sick. But we didn't know what it was.
Were you cognizant at all during that time?
All of this is a blur. Like John told me that he came to drop off like food and Gatorade for me, and I don't remember that at all. I don't remember going to urgent care. I don't remember eventually then going back to UCLA because my parents were like, "You got to go to UCLA and go see your doctor. So my roommate drives me over. It's the following day now, and I guess they brought me into some, inspection room in the ER, and they were like, this guy is septic right now. He got an infection on his heart. We don't know what it is, but we need to rush him into surgery immediately. So this is just me and my roommate, and I'm clearly not functioning because, again, I don't remember any of this.
Right.
I didn't even have my wallet. I didn't have my ID. I didn't have anything.
And family is
in New Jersey. My roommate calls them and says, you got to get on a plane. You got to come to LA. Brian's really sick. They're rushing him into surgery right now. And my parents say to this day, they're like, we got on that plane not knowing if we were going to get to LA and you were going to be alive.
Oh.
So they land in LA.
Just about the worst thing
The
a
worst.
parent can
Like,
go
could you
through.
imagine that flight?
No.
Could you imagine?
No.
Like,
You
terrible.
can't. Well, yeah, you can't sleep. You can't.
No.
You know, anyone makes any complaint or whatever on that flight, you just want to scream at them.
Yep.
Like, shut the fuck up! I'm going through some shit. Like,
And they had no idea how long they were going to be there for either.
Oh my
right?
God,
Like,
yeah.
So,
So
they
how do you
packed
pack?
for they packed for like
Part of you probably even on the
6 weeks
on the plane that wants to like knock on the cockpit and be like, "Can you go faster?"
Yeah, seriously.
Like you're in that
seriously.
panic.
I think that they were actually making calls like while they were on the plane
Oh, good.
to like John and whoever else
Just
was
to
there.
keep updated.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so you go into emergency
So
surgery.
I go into emergency surgery.
And what are they doing?
They're trying to figure out what the infection is. They noticed that there was an infection. Long story short, they had to cut me back open. As they're doing surgery to remove this valve that they learned became infected with staph
staph infection on your heart.
on my heart.
Usually, you get like a staph infection on some skin.
Right. So they don't
And-
know how I got the staph.
Yeah.
But the staph went into my body and went for the one single foreign piece of material in my body, which was the heart valve. So it shot an embolism through my brain. I had a stroke while I was on the operating table, so they caught it while I was there. Thank God. And then I fell into a coma for about like 9 days. They replaced the valve with a human cadaver valve, or actually it might be a pig valve. I'm not sure. That's meant to last for a lot longer than the mechanical valves.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I was in a coma for like 9 days, came out of it.
Well, let's not brush over this.
Oh,
So, man, where are your parents during the surgery?
They're there.
So they got there. Now they're in the waiting room, just
They're
getting
in the waiting.
updated.
There were
bedside
apparently
or-
like 40 people there at all times.
Wow.
And man, infection on the heart just sounds like a Cyndi Lauper song, but
Yeah.
also,
Which I'd like to hear.
well, if we can get this to her, she
Yeah.
should write it about you.
Cindy, please.
Finally, you said you would.
Don't give it to Sheryl Crow. It's got to be Cyndi.
It's got to be Cyndi
I don't
Lauper.
even like Cheryl.
Those two things just seem like the worst combo of words.
worst. Yeah, the
And
worst.
I mean, shooting an embolism. What does that mean to your? That causes
Basically,
stroke?
like imagine like a shock of electricity, like infectious electricity being shot through your body that literally could explode any particular piece of your body or your brain. Mainly,
It's like a Marvel villain.
seriously, no, literally, no. It's like the Venom thing that like goes into like Tom Hardy or whoever that like makes him whatever he is.
Yeah. Right.
So like this embolism was shot through my brain, and it affected the left side of my head, or rather the right side of my head. So right now I'm left with slight disabilities on my left side. So like my left hand, as you guys know, is like a little bit tighter
Yep.
than the other one. I walk with a little bit of a limp, but like that's after like months of me like walking with a
Therapy.
cane and like
Yeah.
being in a wheelchair and all that other stuff. But I mean,
and being in a coma.
Being
I
in
mean,
a
there's so
coma.
many things that you just go, fuck, this sucks. But also, what is the alternative?
Yeah.
seriously, and the craziest thing is like everybody always says like, was this like a cultural reawakening for you? Like, are you more religious now? And I definitely don't think that I'm like more of like a faithful guy, but I saw some pretty intense stuff while I was in a coma.
Yeah, I was about to say. Like,
In the coma?
Yes,
What-
that
what
I
do
remember
you-
vividly.
yeah.
Shut the
What are you
fuck
seeing?
up.
What are you seeing?
Well, first of all, I thought a coma was just you are straight up out.
You can, yeah, normally, but like for some people who are under for a lot longer, they
Yeah.
see stuff.
What are they trying to do to you while you're out? I mean, it's a waiting
Keep
game.
me alive.
Yeah, you're on life support. You're
They were
on.
keeping me
yeah.
on. I mean, they kept me on life support. They were shooting like liquid and vitamins through my body. I had all these like different intravenous things coming in and out of my body. It was
What is
crazy.
happening when you're in a coma?
I mean,
Your heart, so everything's still going.
everything is still going, but you're just like it's not.
Your brain is shut down,
your
or what?
brain- I mean, effectively, yeah.
Parts of it. Yeah.
But it's not done, so it
yeah,
can
no,
be.
no, exactly. Like there is a piece of your brain that is still functioning, which is what probably gave me those dreams. There was some vortex or some part of my brain that was still active and was feeding those dreams into my head.
And like, now, was this medically induced or
No.
Okay, because
medically induced.
there's a couple celebrities recently where one I think it was Luke Perry.
You know, it was.
And the filmmaker John Singleton.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
those are all medically induced.
Yeah, when you go into a medically induced coma,
They're putting you under?
That's not. Yeah, they put you in a coma to reduce swelling on the brain.
Yeah, it's like to stabilize you.
Yeah, so they put you in a coma,
Yeah.
and if they do, it's not
a good sign.
exactly good.
No,
Yeah.
no, like that's not a good sign.
So at some point you were there and you were awake, and then you just closed your eyes, or you were resting and then just didn't wake
I
up.
would imagine. Yeah, I mean, for 9
Like, how do they know? Do they see a coma coming?
I mean, I don't think so, but I think that like, whatever shock and hit that my body took, it was so cataclysmic.
This is post-stroke, yeah?
Post-stroke, yeah. I just I couldn't. I guess my body just shut
Do
down.
you remember feeling the stroke?
No.
Yeah,
Thank God.
yeah, because you're on the table. At
Yeah,
the time.
your brain,
Yeah.
like the brain is such a crazy thing, man. Like it blocks out all the bad stuff. I don't remember
It
any
protects
of the
you.
bad stuff. It protects you.
Yeah.
Totally.
Your brain's they talk about that with trauma victims where
Yes.
the trauma that's why like
Children who have been raped,
yeah,
children
you have
abused.
they have to be reminded of it, and they're
Right.
like, wait, what?
Yep.
That happened to me? Because your
Yes.
brain will physically just be like, no, that's some bad shit. Like, and it's the weirdest thing ever when it happens. I'm not going to go too into this story, but a friend of mine recently reminded me something that I did that I had no idea that I did.
Wow.
And it was something where it's like, wait, what? And then you go back to that scenario. You're like, yeah, that's a really that's a trauma situation.
Totally.
And I'm like but my brain just blocked that out.
Oh
'cause
yeah, dude.
I
mean,
did not remember
I remember
that.
I remember I once like John. He keeps coming up. I remember I once we were really young, and his mom was taking us somewhere, and there was a $10 bill sitting on the table, and I just took it.
Mm-hmm.
And then his mom comes out, and you've met Karen.
Yeah,
right?
it's
She's
the
like
best.
the fucking best.
She was here with John last
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
Yeah.
And she's like, there was where did this $10 go? And John's like, do you know where that? I'm like, no, dude, of course not.
Mm-hmm.
And I blocked that out of my mind for years. And then one day I'm with John and his mom a couple years ago, and she's like, Brian, remember when you stole money from me? And I was like, oh my God, I completely forgot about that, but I did.
Yeah, and then did you at least
And I
hand her
lied
$10?
about it for years, and I still haven't paid her back.
I don't think you should have to.
I don't think so.
And
With
there's
interest.
interest now. Yeah, there's interest
with
now.
interest.
And
It's like
also you're just
$22.
I was in a coma.
Yeah, come on, I had a
things to do.
stroke.
Yeah, there's-
I play the card so much.
Oh,
the coma card.
Oh my God.
I needed the $10 for my coma medication.
So listen, I get to board flights first now. I go on with
Sure.
military and handicapped folks.
Also,
Yeah.
every game of Monopoly, if you can't afford Park Avenue, you play the
go.
coma card.
I guys, look at my hand. I can't use it.
Give me Baltic Avenue.
Yeah, sometimes
Yeah.
I'll get a little spit coming out of my mouth.
No way.
No, of course not.
Wait, board flights early.
yeah,
That's
board flights
huge.
early. No, it's massive.
Wait, is there an
Yeah.
actual card?
No. I know they don't ask. I just I go, hey,
Yeah.
hey, look at this thing I'm wearing. You can feel my chest. There's an ICD in here.
yeah,
There's an
and watch
implant.
me walk.
Yeah, and seriously, watch the way that I walk. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's-
yeah.
What's an ICD?
So it's an implant that's in my chest. Basically, it's connected to all of the, different. I forget the exact word for it, but your heart has all these different leads that are connected to different parts of your body that help the blood flow, and all of the leads, the major leads, are attached to this defibrillator, so that if it ever detects a slower heartbeat or something, it'll shock it back into place.
Holy shit.
Oh yeah.
And,
My dad has one of those.
my dad and I always joke that I'm like a walking Wi-Fi router because it's constantly sending data to UCLA. Right now, it's sending data to UCLA.
Wow. Oh my God.
And now, is that
If
something
you guys
where?
if you guys need the password, I can tell you what.
Yeah.
It is.
You can hack into it.
Yeah.
God, that's like an action movie of
Seriously.
of,
So
of
everyone
the future.
jokingly calls me Iron Man.
Yeah,
Because of it.
because
Yeah, man.
North Korea is gonna hack into our defibrillators.
Right.
Like,
I can't wait.
I can't wait.
It's gonna be sick.
Wait, so folks are in the I just want to brush over the
No, of course, yeah.
severity of that
Yes,
moment.
yes.
They're in the waiting room
The waiting
with
room.
40 other people.
Correct.
And they're just getting what? Updates. I mean, I don't know how often someone's coming out.
I mean, it was very infrequent.
yeah.
and then
the
do they
up-
come out and they tell them he's now in a coma?
I mean, yeah, the updates were not good. Everyone always says that, or my parents say in particular, that there were so many days where we would just leave the hospital crying and having realistic conversations in the tune of we might likely have to bring our son back in a coffin to New Jersey.
Yeah,
Jesus.
I'll be honest. I got a lot of updates from John, and it was just so gut wrenching.
Yeah.
That I kept, you know, and I've been in a lot of hospitals, and it's just like, man, it sucks. They've all been very like bad situations.
Yeah.
And
It's not a happy
man,
place.
I just like
No.
could not like as much as I mean, you know, it just was so devastating to even hear that, and I was just like, man, I don't even know what is being felt in that room. And
I want to know.
Yeah.
I think about it sometimes. Like
Mm-hmm.
John, people will talk to me about it, and it's crazy for me to think about the other side. Like I'm thinking about how it was for me, but
Yeah.
think about all these other people that devoted so much time and energy to making sure that I was okay. They were probably feeling just as much stress and trauma as I was, if not more. And they're the ones that still have to see those images of me not moving or not
Sure.
breathing. And like
When they did
I
see
didn't,
you,
I didn't
yeah.
see any of that stuff. Like I didn't.
No.
what did you see? Because
Yeah.
you
Oh,
spoke
when I was
to
in
the
a coma. Yeah. So
coma dreams.
growing up, my best friend in the whole world was my dad's dad, my grandpa. We had these traditions where we would go into New York City and like go to Chinatown, and like I said, I was such a movie guy, and for some reason I like really loved going to buy bootleg movies. Like I thought it was the coolest thing ever.
Awesome. VHSs, yeah.
Yeah, no, of course, before DVDs. And my
Yeah.
grandpa would always like let me do it. Like he would never say no, even if it was snowing or even if there was so much traffic. He'd be like, "Let's go," because it was like a fun activity for us to do.
Yeah.
And we would always go to the same diner.
That's
and like,
cool grandpa shit, by the way.
dude.
Yeah.
He was
Knowing
the
that the
best.
grandson wants to do it and it's fun and being like, I'm gonna do that too. Like,
Yeah.
I'm
Right.
sure there wasn't a huge part of him that was like, yeah, let's go fucking
No,
buy
he
bootleg movies.
no, I'm sure he hated it. And by the way, my grandma was always so upset when I'd come back with like 5 movies or 10. Like, she'd be like, you know, Nate, you got to stop spending all this money. The movies don't even look good.
Yeah.
And he's like, Muriel, it's fun for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And after like a certain age,
Muriel. What a great grandma name.
Such a grandma name.
Yeah.
And it got to the point where I got smart and I was like, Grandma, I don't want you coming anymore. Because she would always like limit the
Be a
amount of stuff.
bummer,
that I
yeah.
got. Yeah,
Yeah,
seriously,
yeah.
she was such a buzzkill.
You're like,
Jake,
I-
you can get 1 Airbud, not 6.
Yeah.
yeah,
Like, but
I
there's
need
12.
there's 12 of them. I need the whole collection.
with
Yeah.
being shot on a handy cam.
Correct.
Like,
Correct. But yeah, so my grandpa would always come to pick me up, and he would always do the same thing. Right? He was in his like late mid 70s when he passed away. He had stomach cancer, or maybe it was liver. I don't remember which one it was, but it was cancer. He smoked
wasn't a
for
good
years.
one. Yeah.
But he deteriorated really, really quickly, which was like kind of like a blessing in disguise because we didn't want to see it happen any longer.
Yeah.
But when he used to pick me up, he would never get out of the car. He was like one of those classic grandpas. He was like, I'm going to honk twice. They'll know that I'm there. It's time to come outside.
Yeah.
So I would always have this vision, and it's still implanted in my brain right now. I can see it. I would always be waiting for him at the window that overlooked the driveway. I would always be ready 5-10 minutes in advance so that I could see him pull up. It was like such a high for me just to know that he was there, that
Yeah.
it was time to hang. And in the coma, I vividly remember feeling as though I was standing in that room overlooking the driveway. Snow is coming down very quickly. He's in his car and he's wearing this gray jacket and a hat very similar to what Brad's wearing right now that he always used to wear. It
Old
was
man
his
Brad hat. Yeah.
Old man Brad hat. And like I said, he's been dead for years. He died when I was a senior in high school, so that's more than more than 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And I walk up to the car. I walk up to the front seat, trying to get into the passenger side. The door's locked. He looks up at me and starts turning his finger back and forth as if to say, like, it's not your time to walk in yet. I'm not going to let you in.
Whoa. That's
Whoa, man.
mind-numbing. I mean, in your case, literally.
And I promise you that's 100% real.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And well-
That is heavy.
And I remember the first thing that I said when I woke up from the coma is because I'm looking around and I'm all discombobulated, like, what just happened? Where have I been? What year is it? Who's the president? You know, like,
Yeah.
they were asking me all those questions. Like, the hospital people make
Wait,
sure that.
you came out shortly after that?
Yes.
Jeez. So literally, like, hey, get back in the house.
Seriously.
Like, it's not
and
your
I
time.
remember my dad is looking at me and he's crying and my mom's crying and John's crying and everyone around me is crying. And I look at my dad and I go, Dad, I saw Grandpa.
So you immediately spoke and you could articulate. And
Yeah.
because you said the stroke got this side, but not.
I mean, I'm sure it was like broken English. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sure I was not sounding
yeah, if we cut to
right.
the tape, you're just like,
Yeah,
get the titty cereal off the ground. And everyone's like, what is he talking
Yeah,
Yeah,
about?
no, but
Very
dude, I mean,
Nevic
I
grandpa.
looked straight at my
Yeah.
dad in the eyes. I was like, Dad, I saw Grandpa, and he looked amazing, and he was there. He told me not to go, And my dad just
Even more
lost
tears.
it.
Yeah, I was gonna
Lost
say,
it.
are you kidding me, dude?
Because that's his dad.
Yeah.
You waking up like
Oh,
game
so much
changer emotion, then you sang that. I mean, it's
on.
out of a movie, dude.
Out of a movie.
Yeah.
And there was one other thing that I remember seeing too. I don't remember what the order was. It could have been before the Grandpa Dream, but I also remember being on this like Polar Express, Orient Express type of luxury train.
Amazing.
But no one was on the train except for me, and I couldn't see where the track was going, and it looked endless. So I hopefully, or I mean, I would assume that's like Limbo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. So Limbo is just a long train ride.
A long train ride.
Jeez. That's. I mean,
Bri, that is
that's incredible. And you hear these stories about, people see the light, they surrounded by all
There
my
was
dead
no light for me.
relatives.
There was no
They're-
light.
they're like there's a bunch of different things, but and I'm sure some people will tack it up to, oh, that's your brain releasing DMT, that's you dreaming, that's you whatever. But I mean, fuck, man, it's hard to not look at that as what you say it is. It's your grandfather telling you, not yet.
Yeah, and like I said at the beginning, like I'm not necessarily like, a religion heavy guy.
Sure.
Like I am Jewish culturally and I identify with the religion culturally and socially. Like I love being a Jew and having Jewish friends and dating Jewish women because they do everything for you. But yeah, I mean,
Except
like,
anal.
it's, I didn't become more religious. I didn't become more religious, but like how do you not see something like that and not start to think that, wow, maybe there is something else out there bigger than us that's like controlling everything.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And I would imagine not only just for you, but certainly for your family. When stuff like that happens, it's so amazing how fast everything in your life that you were worried about and you were thinking about, you were concerned about, just like
goes
nope.
away. Yeah.
Nope. Don't
Oh my
care.
God, it was so easy for me to just rid myself of all of the people that I didn't need around me anymore.
I was going to say, what were the first, I mean, God, again, we could spend 4 hours on this. And
Yeah.
we got about 20-ish minutes left, maybe
Yeah.
a little bit more. But, I mean, it's almost like, I mean, shit, I remember asking some guy at a show once who immediately got out of prison, and he came up and he was like, I really needed all this comedy. Thank you for the show. I just got out of jail. And I was like, holy shit, like for 7 years for by the way, joyriding a car.
Yeah.
Some guy.
I know who you're talking about too. Yeah.
Really?
I think so. George?
No, it was just a
Okay,
random
never mind.
guy at Flappers. A guy who came up to me.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind. I thought you were talking about a comic.
But joyriding, but I didn't know,
Yeah.
whatever. So I go, what was the first thing you did? Because when you go through something
Sure.
like that, you're just like, what was the first? And he was like, I went to Denny's and I jerked off. And I go,
At Denny's?
well, that's my next question. And by the way, now just saying this, I need to do it as a bit again because I did it the next night because he said it in the same sentence. So I go, in which order? And I go, and then I go, or at Denny's.
Yeah.
I go, you went to Denny's to jerk off, or
Right.
you jerked off and then went to Denny's,
Do you
or
think
you
there
got
are
food?
people out there who are like, I go to Denny's to jerk off every
Yes.
day?
Well, that's why I asked.
Moons over my hammy turned me the fuck
Yeah.
off.
That's what I'm saying. So a
Give me some
hilarious.
flapjacks and I'll be right back. I'm going to go jack off in
Yeah.
the bathroom.
It don't make the food this good if you don't want me to rub one out to 2 feet from here. So waking up and then reacclimating to the world. I mean, what are those next 24 hours like?
Oh, dude. I mean, it was...
Are there concerns of you going back into a coma? Can you wake up and go back out?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Once I was awake, I was awake. But obviously, like, it was so hazy. I was so drugged up. But I do remember, like, people coming in, and I remember I was moved around from room to room to room because I went from, like, the ICU to the intensive ICU, back to, like, a regular room, back to the ICU, because I kept having so many complications. Because when you're in the hospital for as long as I was in there for, like, 6 months and change, and then went to rehab for, like, another 4. So, like, when you're lying in a bed and you're around sick other people, like, you get sick. So I remember right after I came out of a coma, probably a couple of weeks after, I got pneumonia. And
Yeah, that's common.
It's very common, and that put me sort of back and sort of hindered my ability to move into the rehab process as quickly as I could have. And I just remember like feeling so helpless, and the way that I describe it to everybody is like, when you're in the airport and you're on those like moving platforms that take you through the terminal, so you don't have to walk.
Yes.
And people can walk on either side of you, either as quickly or as fast as they want, as quickly or as slowly as they want to.
Yes.
I felt like when I was in the hospital, I was permanently on one of those like platforms, and everybody around me was walking really, really fast, but I was stuck.
Wow.
Damn, dude.
And that's got to be a trip because, like your head, like you're like, yeah, I want to get up, I want to go, I
Yeah,
want
dude.
to,
Like
do stuff.
people from my office were coming in and like filling me in on stuff that my clients were doing, and like John was coming in. He was shooting that movie with Reese at the time.
Yeah.
And like all these people have all these exciting things going on in their lives. And
Did he
I'm
send
like,
you a
well,
video from Reese?
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
Dude.
Yeah, the best.
What and this is what's so crazy to me, dude, is that like you were crushing it in your field. You know what I'm saying? Like climbing the comedy ranks and getting more established and getting more connections, right? Like, so how much of you in all this is there? And I think it's a natural human trait to get even sort of a little bit of your mojo back, to where then you start letting frustrations that shouldn't be there settle in, where it's like, God, maybe I'm now like, what am I going to do with my job? And you're like, dude, you're lucky to be. You have to remind yourself, right? Like,
Oh, constantly.
Like-
John was always the one that brought me back. I was always like, dude, like you're crushing it right now. Like you're shooting an episode of Curb. You just wrapped a movie with Reese.
Yeah.
Like you're doing all these amazing things. And like, what am I doing? I'm fucking sitting there. He's like, Bri, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? You're alive.
yes,
Yeah.
Like who cares about your job?
Right.
it's natural to have those thoughts, though.
Of course.
but you need
Yeah.
those people
Well,
like
I mean,
John.
especially living here, like you constantly play the compare game every day.
Sure.
I know, dude. And especially when you've been busting your ass, and again, like you were like on the up and up, and now you're like, God, like this is not fair. Like
Right.
now am I gonna have to start over?
And that was a legitimate fear. And to be honest, like it kind of happened. Like I went back to my job and I had missed out on so much, and my clients had been passed off to other people and had made more relationships with other people. So it wasn't like I could just come back and be like, hey, give me everything back again.
And you didn't feel that
Right.
of yourself, I'm
no,
sure. right
no,
away.
I didn't. I mean, when I came back, I was going into the office for like 3 hours at a time each week. Like that was it. Like I'd go in for an hour and I'd make one phone call, type out one email, and I was exhausted.
Shut up,
I
dude.
swear to God.
That's got to be rough.
Think about, first of all, when you haven't looked, because I remember when I first got my phone for the first time too, like my dad was like, do you want to look at your phone? I had like 1,000 emails. Like I was like, fuck this. Like I do not want this. Just looking at the screen made me sick.
Yeah.
And going to work and having to type an email, having to focus and concentrate on that screen, not only was that making me nauseous, but to type out a single word, I wasn't used to typing with one hand yet. I've had to get used to just in general doing everything with one hand now, because my left hand, while it works,
Yeah.
it doesn't hold things. I can't brush my teeth with it. I can't run my hair with shampoo in my hair like with this hand. Like it's all my right
you
hand.
right-handed?
Right now. I was always right-handed.
Okay.
Thank
Okay.
God.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's been such an adjustment, you know.
Did people even perceive? Did you get a little like people being weird? Like, cause
I mean, like I was always in my head about it. I was like, fuck, people are gonna notice that like my left side is, you know, dangling or something, or people are gonna notice that I have a limp or whatever. But like that went away. Like that was like such a quick thing.
Good.
Now, here's something to ask: is that after you go through a trauma like that,
Yeah.
the people that are outside of your life, like when they see you the next time, they always are wondering like, how do I act? How do I act around him? What do I say? What do I talk about? Am I allowed to bring it up? Am I allowed to joke about it? And for anyone who has a friend or family member who's going through something similar or just any kind of traumatic event, how would you tell people like to act around you?
Oh, dude,
Some
it
tips.
was
Yeah, good
going
question.
back to the whole comedy thing. Like that was the only thing that made me keep going.
It's like
People would
jokes.
come to the hospital and just rip on me. They would roast me.
whoa,
and that was good for you.
It was amazing.
Okay.
whoa.
Like my buddy Nick Christ, you know Christ.
Yeah.
He'd be like, dude, you look like shit. You're never gonna get fucked again. It was amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like being able to laugh through those times was like the best medicine.
And it's so amazing because that seems counterproductive to every kind of instinct that you have as a human being. Like, oh, I have to ignore it. I have to not talk
need to
about it. I
coddle
have to-
this person
Yeah,
and-
yeah, yeah.
and-
And it's like, no.
When people came in and
Yeah.
were sentimental, it made me uncomfortable.
And you're
Sure.
like, get out of here.
I was like, you gotta go. Like, if you're gonna cry, you gotta get out of here.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So that, I mean, dude, that's so. I mean, you are Iron Man, but emotionally and just, I mean, do you not feel like you have a?
I mean, I cried. I
lesser-
cried one time in the hospital, and my dad and my mom were like so blown away by that. And the only time that I cried was when they did this additional surgery to put the implant in my chest, which is what's keeping all the leads and everything from beating properly. Like it's basically, like I said earlier, like this is the thing that keeps everything beating properly.
Sure.
Well, they had to go in under my skin to put it in.
Right,
So
right,
it was an additional procedure, and they literally had to cut through flesh to put this thing in it. They basically like opened up a pocket in my skin and just dropped this thing in, and that was one of the most painful experiences of my whole life. Coming out of that surgery, I literally felt like I was like getting shot with like needles all over my body.
God.
And that was the only time that I cried throughout all of it.
Are you fucking kidding?
That's
So
it.
even seeing people cry or get emotional didn't get you choked up?
No.
Why do you think that? Were you not an emotional guy
'Cause
prior to
no,
this?
I'm very emotional. But I needed to stay strong for
Yeah,
myself.
it's a defense
I
mechanism.
kept saying, I was like, the moment that I cry is the moment that I stop being okay.
Because you start to maybe feel bad for yourself.
Exactly.
You start to
and for sure, like when I left the hospital and I was out in the real world again and like
Yeah.
trying to be my own person again,
Yes.
like for sure I cried a ton because
Yeah.
I was like
Grateful.
out there, very grateful, but also like starting to remember and having dreams and like remembering all the bad shit.
oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Now,
you don't think about that post.
No,
I've heard that like when you go through stuff like that, like then it sort of becomes a lot of things will make you emotional that
Yeah.
didn't make you emotional before.
Right.
Does that happen for you? Like you see
Oh,
a
Do you
Yeah,
now
dude.
not cry at rom-coms?
I
Yeah.
mean,
cry
I'll-
at
I will always cry during a good rom com.
Yeah, okay, good.
always,
like
always.
like
It would
you
be
see a
crazy
dog
if you would
video.
lose
Yeah,
some
that'd
of
be
those.
weird if you didn't.
Like I now no longer think Meryl Streep is a good actress.
Yeah, no longer.
Yeah.
Martin
I now
Scorsese
think-
is no longer a good filmmaker.
I now
And
think
I hate
Elizabeth-
pizza for some odd reason.
I hate pizza.
Yeah.
I think Elizabeth Berkley is underrated.
Yeah.
Like, all these weird things came
all-
out
They
of
should
it.
bring Saved by the Bell back.
Yeah, yeah,
Well,
yeah.
that's
Well, I
just-
mean,
that
that's
should
just,
always be
that's
there.
just
I guess,
logic.
yeah.
Yeah. But like, like, did it open up like
No,
a bunch
it did.
of emotions
no,
for
it,
you?
it totally did. I'm so much more empathetic of a person now. I mean, I mentioned before, but like, pre-stroke Brian, AD Brian,
Mm-hmm.
as we can say, like, I was not the best guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was dating this girl for a very long time, like on and off for like 3 years, and I was very unfaithful and I lied constantly. And while working at the agency that I did for a while, like, drugs were like a daily thing, and I was
Mm-hmm.
always out partying until wee hours of the night, and I just wasn't taking care of myself.
Dang.
And I wasn't being a good friend or like a
Mm-hmm.
good person to really anybody. And then when I came out of the coma, I realized how shitty I was being, and it made me become this much better, more self-aware
Wow.
person.
Very, very. It's a Wonderful Life.
No, seriously, no, really, it really was. But
Yeah.
but I mean, but most of all, like the sensitivity of it all, like, yes, I'm like the smallest thing now can make me cry or like get emotional. One of my buddies, who's friends with John and I, who you probably met, Adam Tony. You remember
Oh, yeah.
Tony? The best.
Yep.
So he has been living in Orange County for the past like 6-7 years. He moved out here right after college, just like us. He went to NYU Tisch, also in the film industry, and he's been living up until a couple months ago with his dad's sister, who's been living out here for a long, long time. And out of the blue, she collapsed one day and she passed away, and he was there and had to handle everything. And now he's living alone in this house. And I remember getting that call, and I just completely broke down.
Yeah.
And I immediately like fell right back into like crisis mode.
Yeah.
And for me, like, I'm so used to kind of like that, that gut response now because of what I've been through. But for like, you got to always recognize that like people grieve in different ways at different times, right? So for me, I was like, dude, like I'm there. Tell me when to come over. I'm going to be with you 24/7. And he was a little bit, he didn't want it quite
Yeah,
yet.
yeah. It's strange because I mean we get that a lot. When a friend or family member unfortunately passes away, people say like, "Hey, if there's anything I could do for you, just let me
Yeah,
know."
because like, what else are you going to say?
Yeah,
Like, you
and
got it.
and
You have to say
and
that.
sometimes you're just like, I don't need anything now. Like I don't want.
And that's the
anything
hardest
now.
thing. That was the hardest thing for me to hear.
Sure.
It's like, you don't want my help.
Yes.
But then again, it's like, this isn't about me. This is about him.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, and you probably being aware of that, of like, okay, yes, you're handling this differently, but handle it in your own time, and then whenever you need
Right.
something,
I'm always here.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So you've completely shut off the urges to go back to old Brian.
Oh, dude, completely.
And are you still able to even have like a cocktail or anything like that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Esau's fun.
Yeah.
I know what I mean, like, I can't do, like, crazy drugs anymore.
Right.
But,
Yeah.
but that's okay. Like, that was
Yeah.
also.
Oh,
like,
darn.
That was
Yeah.
also, like, AD Brian. You
Yeah.
know? Like, that was, like, I don't want to do that stuff anymore. Like,
And
I
so,
don't- I don't need it.
So now take us to, I mean, like the current, like again, I think it's just like, and it has to be discussed because it's a part of your story is because I'm sure there's a time when you said you went back 3 hours a day, you're exhausted,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh, maybe I'm not gonna be able to do this. Maybe I'm gonna have to find another job.
Yep.
Or are there even thoughts of like, am I even gonna be able to find a job I can do?
Yep.
That I'm gonna have stamina for.
There
and
was there was always that fear. Yeah, I mean, the company that I'm with and still with and was with while I was getting all this sort of getting through all of
Yeah.
this stuff. I'm still with them. They've been amazing to me. They kept me on payroll the whole time while I was in the hospital,
Wow.
which meant that
Good
I
for
could
them.
use the insurance policy.
Yes.
Which
Wow.
was such a huge plus. Could you imagine how much money that would have been for me and my family if I didn't have insurance?
Yeah,
I
that's
mean, dude.
that's insane.
Crazy.
You'd still be doing the GoFundMe.
And that's exactly, and that's so not this industry either.
yeah.
Like people in this industry will be like, "Oh, you're sick? Well, fuck you. We're gonna find someone else
Sorry.
to
Yeah.
replace."
Well, that's an
Next
testament to
man
how
up.
valuable
No, yeah. I
you
mean,
showed you were.
They've been very, very good. But yeah, I mean, coming back was like such a process, but they were always very much on my side in terms of like, do it at your own pace, do what you need to do. But there was never any shred of doubt on my mind that I was gonna change professions.
Wow.
Like this is the only thing that I can see myself doing.
And your role at this company is?
So I originally was a manager.
Yeah.
Now I'm senior manager, but head of comedy.
Yeah.
So I'm working with like a handful of traditional and digital, but also traditional comedians, like people who have digital followings, but like with the Brittany Ferlin are also trying to do more traditional stuff.
You
but
started and run Brittany's podcast,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah,
Brittany Ferlin,
exactly. So I'm running her podcast over with Josh Wolf, who you know as well.
Yep.
And the roster just keeps growing. And we got all these young guys that are popping up, like the new Miller comedy people that we're trying to build out and do shows with them. But I mean, like, it's really, really cool. You know, it's a really cool kind of brand new millennial position where like it's so the Wild West and it's changing every day. And I mean, the traditional folks are starting to catch on to what they can do with digital, but like we're kind of like the premier spot for digital. And we just continue to grow, and it's been really cool just kind of heading up this new initiative because nobody was doing it before, which I don't understand.
If there's ever a time where you're trying to get one of your clients something and you hear a no, do you bring up the story?
Always. I'm not even kidding. Like when I'm signing, when I'm signing people, I totally bring it up.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know, and it's sometimes it's bullshit, but it's like, you know, oh my God, like, you know, I was so sick for a while. And actually there was this girl that I was talking to for a long time who's a YouTuber, and she's blind. And she's like this huge inspiration. People are obsessed with her. And I really do like her content a lot. And I remember I reached out to her, just cold called. And I was like, look, I don't care if you end up working with me or not, but like, you're such a huge inspiration. I just had this like hugely traumatic, life-threatening experience, and seeing you like producing content every day and being so confident and being able to put yourself out there and not caring about what people might think about you, like, that's so inspiring. That doesn't happen all the time.
Yeah.
But like, if I can ever use my experience to connect with someone else on an emotional or metaphysical or whatever level, of course I'll do it. You know, like even Drew Lynch, who I was working with for a while. You know Drew?
Oh, yeah.
The guy with stutter.
Yep.
That was the first guy that I signed when I came out of the hospital. And of course we made a connection because we've both been through the shit storm and back.
Yeah.
And everybody's had some type of
he
traumatic
wasn't born
experience.
with the stutter.
No.
Right.
He got hit with a baseball in his throat.
Yeah.
At like 21 or something.
And then all
That's
of a sudden,
insane.
that
Terrible.
happens. Yeah.
And now he's impaired for the rest of his life, but he doesn't let that slow him down.
Right.
You
Just
know,
does
like,
stand-up
so-
comedy.
so again, like,
talks
I mean,
for a living.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
great.
Yeah,
It's
isn't that
amazing.
crazy?
It's great.
That feeds you too, yeah.
Oh,
I mean, just
totally.
like having this job, like, and
Yes.
getting every day is a new challenge, and the amount of people that you can affect. You should be at some point. I'm sure. I mean, hopefully this podcast, you know, I don't know how much you've told the story publicly. How many people that don't know you know the story.
I mean, I think like my closest family and like my friends know. You know, like it's not something that I like, you know, wear on my shoulder, so to speak.
and
but,
you're not like trying to do public speaking engagements.
I mean,
or,
honestly, it's something I've thought about. Like, I really feel
I was
like
thinking
you
about
should
that.
at some point because you're
Motivational
already a
speaker.
naturally gifted speaker and
I've done
and
stand up a few
engaging.
times, like you
Yeah,
know
yeah.
it.
And again, having to be able to tell a story like this and be funny with it, I feel like is a home run
I mean,
combo.
here's what I've been thinking, and you tell me what you think about this. Because like when I was in rehab, it was me and like a ton of like 70, 80-year-old men and women. Like I was
Whoa.
the youngest person by 60 plus years at this
Yeah.
rehab facility. So all of the programs they had were so aged up, and there was nothing for people my age. So I'm sitting in all these rooms with like older people who are not awake or like not able to function or have conversation.
Right.
And they're like,
Have
well,
n-
Brian, like, do you want to tell us about how you're feeling? And it's like, well, I don't really feel comfortable doing this because
Yeah.
there's nobody else around me who I feel connected
They have
to.
no idea who Ruben Studdard is.
Exactly. They don't know who Clay Aiken is. They have no idea
How do you
who these
relate?
people are. Exactly. They don't. They didn't even
Benny
go to any of the
Goodman?
concerts.
Is he related to Benny Goodman?
Yeah. No, I represent comedians like Jack Benny. Oh God.
Yeah, no, exactly. No, it's the same. No, seriously. So, like, in my mind, like, if there's something that I can do to give back to like this community or any community at all, it would be to set up like youth centers for like grief counseling for things like this.
Yeah.
It's a great idea.
People my age are getting sick every day. If it's cancer, if it's a stroke, if it's whatever it is. And I know that they have self-help groups that exist.
They do.
But we weren't able to find any
No way.
It's weird.
Out here.
Yeah, because I
in
think
Los
out here,
Angeles.
out here there would be.
There were zero.
I mean, yeah, I would expect that if you were like in Des Moines, but you're in Los Angeles.
Los Angeles. There was nothing.
Weird. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I feel like as you progress and continue to crush, like opportunities are gonna come your way. And again, I think like this podcast to have a chance to tell it in a way where you can, truly be yourself.
Yeah.
And there's, shit, man, the amount of people they're probably just gonna reach out to you after this that have gone through their own shit. I mean, it's like,
and by the
I
way,
still can't even.
I love it. Like I love when I meet someone. Like I was just on a plane like 2 months ago, and I was sitting next to this woman. And she was like, yeah, like, my daughter's best friend just had a stroke, and it was completely like a freak. It's like I have all of these like random connections with people all over the world.
Are you
now.
going out of your way to do that more
Of
than you
course,
did before?
Of course.
Are you truly waking up with a, like, fucking looking like, hello,
Yes.
hello, day, and like
Every day I wake up.
singing to yourself?
Every day I wake up and I play the same song on my iPod. Or
What is that?
We're
gonna be happy for the rest of your life.
no. I love beautiful day, beautiful day. Beautiful day, beautiful day. Who's that? Who sings that song?
too?
Me three.
No,
Yeah,
no. Lovely day.
Come
Oh,
back.
Bill Weathers.
How's it go?
Bill Withers.
Lovely day.
I
Lovely
love
day.
that song. Wow,
Lovely
dude.
day. Every day.
That's a
That's
good
the
one.
opening of your movie, dude.
Every day.
Because there's a Lifetime original movie event
Seriously.
waiting to happen.
I
on
can't
this.
wait for that to happen.
And I say
why
that,
not?
and look, and some of you are like, Lifetime, isn't that bullshit fucking channel that used to have Christmas movies with Candace Cameron?
Yeah.
What's her last name?
Beret.
Yeah.
I only know it because she married a hockey player. That's the only reason why I know that.
Doesn't matter. You can count on Brad to know stuff that you don't know.
I love that.
That doesn't matter, but
Right.
it does matter.
But it
'Cause
does
see how
for
it mattered
this.
right there.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
matters
yeah.
right now.
Matters. What do I know that?
There's that show You was on
Yes.
Lifetime and now
Yeah,
Netflix,
yeah,
and
yeah.
so I now have so much more respect for Lifetime.
yeah, I
But
mean, like
we- but-
everybody's producing premium now.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. So that song, you wake up, you sing that, and does that truly? What does it do to you? Does the consistency of that, because you did that shortly after the hospital, is that what?
I mean, that
How much are you
actually-
trying to connect back?
That started happening when I moved back into an apartment.
Okay.
Because I was living with my folks at an apartment complex in Westwood for like 6 months after getting out of rehab, just because I wasn't really able to take care of myself just yet. Like it was hard for me to like get in the shower. It was hard for me to get my clothes
Yeah,
on.
so
it was
you
hard
needed
for
help.
me to do everything.
That's what you were just
Right.
telling me pre-show that 45 minutes to get your socks on or something.
yeah. I mean, like in the beginning, it would take me 45 minutes to get my left sock on.
Jeez. Now, not to like burst your bubble or anything. Have you heard about the things that really help with that? Like
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you have one of
But
those now?
I don't, because I always wanted to do it on my own.
Okay.
I didn't want to. There are devices that
Yeah.
you can buy that will help you with those things. There are also.
I had one.
No, like there are devices you can buy. There's also because like I can't tie my shoes. I only have one hand.
Yeah?
And for a while, people were like, "Oh, like you can buy these like these like stretchy things that like pull your laces up for you." But I'm like,
Right.
that looks so lame. There's no way I'm gonna wear those. And I'm a very and I'll be honest. I'm a
Yeah.
very like. What's the word I'm trying to think of?
Bougie?
Right now? No.
Image
I
conscious?
was
No, I'm
low.
joking.
I'd
Yeah.
kill to be bougie. I'd kill to be bougie. No.
That's the name of your memoir.
Yeah, I would kill to be bougie by Brian Lee Rowan. Yeah.
Well-
I'm a very vain person. Like, I try to not be
In a
but-
fun way.
In a fun way, yeah. Like I want to
But-
look good.
Yes,
Like,
what's
I
wrong with
like
that?
looking good, and like, there's no way I'm gonna walk into work with these like stupid fucking stretchy laces that look like they're for a kid that can't
Yeah.
Yeah,
fucking
and
blow
I-
Can you guys
his
replace
nose.
the batteries
Dude.
in my Life Alert pouch?
Yeah. Seriously.
And by the way, I completely get it. Like, because whenever I board a plane and I got to get my bag in the overhead storage bin, I do it myself, and people offer to help me all the time. And I just go, no, I got this. And it's not because I'm like it's vanity. I think it's just this like no. I'm going to have a normal life.
Yes.
Right.
I'm not going to let somebody else.
must.
Yes.
Yes.
And I have to have a normal life.
Right. Well, see, for me, it's the opposite. In the
Mm-hmm.
beginning, when I would get on planes, I'd be embarrassed to ask people for help to get my bag up on the top, and I'd struggle for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And people would just be like, "Dude, like we can help." I'm like, "No, I wanted to prove it to myself." But now I know, like, yeah, okay, maybe for a while I might not be able to get my bag up in the upper hand compartment.
Gotta come to
but that's
terms with that.
okay. Like,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
all right. Like I don't mind asking for help. Like,
Yeah.
That's okay. I'm not going to be bigger than what I need to be.
So,
Yeah.
so you wake up each morning. I just want to lastly know, like,
Yeah,
how
yeah.
much do you do on a daily basis to connect to what you went through to just get those daily bursts of man, just to in case you feel yourself going down a path of like, complaining about something that maybe
Right.
you shouldn't. How do
Yeah.
you quickly access what you went through to go, hey man, take a step back?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like a perfect example. Like yesterday, for example, I was having a call with an agent at one of the top 3 agencies. We don't have to name names or where it was, but like how those calls can be. And it's always like,
The All-Star agency on La Brea.
seriously. Yeah, exactly.
I'm joking, by the way. I almost
Don't
signed
say-
with them my first year.
Oh, that's a real place.
Yeah, the All-Star.
I think you should go back.
I know. I'm looking to make a change. It was
You could be the premier
would you
guy
rather
there.
be a big fish in a small pond or a small fish in a big
or
pond?
the only fish
Or
in
the
a
only
big
fish
pond.
in a ditch?
Do you want? Yeah.
Oh my God, if that wasn't their pitch on the door. You want to be the only fish in a
Yeah.
ditch?
Do you
no
wanna-
water.
Come here.
Do you want to be Jimmy Butler on the Heat, where it's like that's your fucking team,
In
or
Miami?
Yeah,
Or-
or do you want to be Sean Livingston when he was on the Warriors, where it's like great player, 9th best guy on the
Yeah.
None of that means anything to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you had this call and you just got frustrated, yeah?
Yeah. So I mean, it was just like a classic, like, yo, you're stepping on toes, like, back off, like, we got this. And I'm like, well, normally I'd be like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, this is my thing.
Yeah.
I'm championing this, like, step off. But I get this call, and although my instinct says attack this person, fight for yourself, there was something inside of me that one day was just like, you know what? I'm having a really good moment right now. Like, I feel happy with my life and I feel content. Good things are happening. Why do I want to waste and ruin all that with fighting with someone that's going to get me nowhere and ultimately lead to more drama?
Wow.
Just avoid it.
Yeah.
Just be bigger than it.
That's awesome, man.
And that's a really mature thing to think, where you go like, yeah, I could do this. I could go down this road.
Yeah.
But like you say, you're in a good place. You're happy. Why have that switch over what?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Over what?
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
that's a really healthy attitude, man. And I mean, I hate that sometimes people have to go through something like that
Yeah.
you went through to arrive at that mindset
Yeah.
and to be in that place. But it's like you said earlier, it's at the same time the worst and the best thing that ever happened.
Yeah,
to
I
you.
mean, my family and I talk about it all the time. I mean, like, even for just like, I'm an only child, so like my
Yeah.
relationship with my mother and my father while all this was happening was so hard because, they were my caregivers for a while. Like, I was
Yeah.
living with them, and I'd put all of the stress and depression onto them, and we would have these screaming matches, and like we'd be throwing stuff, and
Sure.
it was terrible. It was horrible. And my parents were you met them. They're the most amazing people in the world. But I mean, this whole experience has made us such a closer knit.
Because
tight
there's no way
knit
they
family.
were going to not do that for
No,
you. But also,
exactly.
they don't. God, that's the part that, I mean, again, and that's the part in a movie that, like, you would really need to see, because
Yes.
that's the part where you think it's all rainbows and hand jobs once you get out of the hospital.
Well, hopefully not with your parents, but
Okay, bad
Hey
example.
man, let's not exclude
I
the
should have
parents
said
from the hand
cookies.
jobs.
I didn't want to say 2 of the things that. Okay, so rainbows and cookies.
Yeah,
so
there you go.
Hand jobs.
and hand jobs, cookie flavored hand jobs.
I would try one.
Ben and Jerry's, the new
Yeah.
hand job cookie dough.
Come on down and try the new hand job cookie, extra creamy.
Hand job cookie. Was it cream gay?
yeah,
bread?
made with cream gay.
We made with cream gay.
But it's like
cream of gay.
getting to see that time, because the how you just think you get out and you go, now we're all on the clear. Now it's just about recovering. But it's like, dude, you try. I mean, in the speed at which you recover and feeling maybe the good days, now you can back off.
Yep.
You just probably getting depressed at some points
yeah.
because you're just like, fuck, man. Like I don't. I mean, yeah, you're amazing, dude.
I mean, dude, it's been such a team effort, and I don't take that lightly. I mean, like, my team, quote unquote. Whenever I call them my team, by the way, at like the hospital, they're like, "We're not a team. Why do you?" I'm like, I work in Hollywood. You know?
Yeah, team. Yeah.
But everyone at the hospital, like, they're all so amazing.
Keep in touch with them.
all the time.
Cool.
All the time.
great.
And like they're like family now. I mean, like they were with us through such a hard time.
His
and
heart is sending them emails right now.
literally, literally. And I can tell
They're downloading this podcast.
and I can tell that neither of you have attached to the Wi-Fi yet. Yeah.
He gets a little buzz every time.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, all right, cool.
Fuck.
Got it. Got
All
it.
right,
Spam alert.
It's all
Yeah.
filled. It's all filled. The signal's really low right now.
Turn off cookies.
But yeah, no, I mean, I think it's like, I mean, I'm very blessed to be surrounded by amazing people.
You
and
are,
I have
man.
great friends, and
Well, it stems from you, man, because people, I think there's a lot of good in people and a lot of people that I think will rise to the occasion to be at somebody's disposal when shit hits the fan, but like extra times 10 when that person is somebody like Brian Lieberman,
Aw,
you know.
thanks, man.
So dude.
Yeah.
Thank you. This was unbelievable.
No, this was unbelievable.
Did you have a good time?
I love this show in general.
I know
But now I love it more.
Yeah.
Would you say this is the best thing to happen to you since waking up with the coma?
100%.
Okay, good.
Without a doubt. Yeah.
Follow you on socials.
Sure, yeah. Follow me on social media, Instagram at unbelievable, like unbelievable.
I love that.
Unbelieve, Lieb, able.
I think you did that before the Biebs did like.
Oh,
the
I did.
Right.
I created it my senior year of college, and he wasn't popular yet.
There you go.
Yeah.
So honestly, if Scooter, if you're listening, we need to
Braun.
talk.
Yeah, we do.
And he's in hot water right now, isn't he?
Yeah, because he
With, like
just
Taylor Swift or
he
something.
He bought her entire catalog.
Why did he do that?
I
Because
don't
he's a
know.
dick.
Wait,
I don't even-
so that basically was like, did he work with the company that?
I have no idea. I hate the gossip stuff, but I
know.
do think that he's been doing some not so good stuff.
By the way, Scooter, that was Adam and Brian saying all the bad shit about you. This
yeah,
is me,
yeah.
Brad Williams, saying
Dude,
like, yeah,
somebody
you're probably
wants
a great
free
guy.
Beaver tickets.
I mean,
Dude, honestly,
are you kidding me?
If
I
you
would
get
go. I
those
would go.
tickets,
I know.
I want to go too.
I watched a documentary by myself in Irvine before a comedy
Which
juice
one?
show once.
The never
Which
never
one?
never
How many
say
Beaver
never.
docs are there?
Never say never.
Yeah.
I saw that in theaters, dude.
Can I? Me too.
In 3D.
Okay, well you beat me on that.
That
I
hair
just-
in 3D.
So cool.
That
I
hair in
was
3D
there.
Was pretty good.
I was there. So funny. It was inspiring though. Like truly, here I was being like, this kid just was working on raw talent, but I'm like, he went to radio stations at like 12 and around the country to play songs live. Also, you're seeing him drumming at 7, and you're
Crazy.
like, what?
The dude's a real talent.
Yeah.
And I respect the fuck out of him.
I met him once at the chiropractor that I used to go to. They also do cupping and some acupuncture and stuff. And I mean, Timberlake, it's a very cool place in Beverly
It's
Hills.
very bougie.
Very bougie.
Yeah.
I'd kill to be bougie.
I aspire to be bougie.
Yeah. So we'll go here, and I'm in there, and I'm get up from the cupping. I'm in my boxers, and the door's open as I'm getting ready to walk out. So I'm standing in my boxers, and Biebs is standing there at the counter to check in, or in the little waiting room, and he looks at me, and he goes, "What up?" And I go, "Yo," and I go, "This is how we were supposed to meet." And he goes, and he starts laughing, and he goes,
Instant boner for me.
"What'd you get?" I go, "Cupping." He goes, "Ah, the best." I go, "I feel great, dude." I go, "I feel like I could be one of your backup dancers." He's like, "We should talk." I go, "We should talk." I go, "We're talking. Let's get into it."
Give me your
just having
info.
this great banter,
What's
like
your
in my
Instagram
boxers.
handle?
Yeah,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah.
And he's just being real sweet, and then I go,
Whole time thinking, don't get hard, don't get hard, don't
and
get
then
hard.
he goes, "What do you do?" And because you're just having fun banter like that,
Yeah.
I think any person now is like a little interested in. And I go, "I'm a comic," and he goes, "Oh shit!" He goes, "You know, Chris D'Elia." I go, "I'm on a show with him
He
tonight."
loves
I've-
D'Elia,
loves
doesn't
him.
he?
He's his
Yeah.
favorite comic.
Yeah.
I go, "I'm on a show with him tonight." Started with him, and he was like, "That's the best." And I go, "Do you want to come to the show?" He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "Take my number." Took his number, texted with him a few times, and then on the third text, not delivered. Changed his number.
Well,
Because of
but
Guess
you.
what? Got 2 exchanges.
there you go.
And talked to him in my boxers, which,
Well, I
hey,
see that
dear
you have
diary.
I see that you have a lot of like memorabilia up here.
Yeah.
Like, why would you not screenshot that text and put that
Hilarious.
I think
'cause
you
I'm
can
not
still
a
go back
psycho.
and do
up there? You
it.
should, dude.
I mean, do I have a framed picture with him when he came to the Laugh Factory? Maybe.
I would too.
I know. I told my nieces that, by the way, and
They're so cute, by the way. Your
they're the best.
nieces.
I know.
You create so much content with them.
I need to go back and do because they love these shows where you watch you make slime.
Oh, the slime channels.
Yeah.
Huge part of our
So
business.
I'm going to do that for them soon. And unwrapping presents.
Yeah.
To be a kid now and to know if we could have made money on opening toys.
The richest guy on YouTube is a kid that opens toys.
P.S. Ryan's toy reviews.
What is his name?
Ryan's toy reviews.
See?
Hey Ryan. Fuck you. You rich bastard.
You're literally not
He's
doing
3.
anything.
He's 3?
I don't know what he is.
Okay,
He's
yeah.
And they
tiny.
had
Okay.
and they
I
sold
take
a
it
show
back.
to Nickelodeon,
Of course they did.
are
He's
we
gonna
doing?
open some more toys.
where they're
Oh,
literally
boy.
just
Oh
opening
look, he's
toys.
gonna open another toy.
Yeah, but did he go did he live through a coma?
No,
See,
Fuck you, Ryan.
but you want to know something? We could make that happen.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
It's about last night.